Hey, Kina.
Hey girl.
Hey. What you got going on today?
Nothing. About to do some yoga and probably do a little Postmates later. That's about it.
Fun. Who we have here?
This is Jackson. Can you say hi?
Hey, Jackson. How old are you?
How old are you?
Three.
Three.
Fun. Okay. So you say you're about to do yoga.
Yeah. It's a pretty day outside, so I decided to do some yoga out here.
Beautiful. I'm excited. I want you to show us some poses.
Okay. I can do a few. So one of my favorite poses happens to be downward facing dog. So it's a resting pose. But pretty much this is all you do.
And what does this help with?
So it helps with your calf muscles and the lower back.
Okay.
So it helps to stretch those muscles.
All right. And what's the other kind of pose that you do?
So another pose I like to do is pigeon pose to help with my splits. So it starts off by doing three-legged dog, which is this pose. And then bringing the leg forward and stretching the leg all the way back.
And does Jackson usually do yoga with you?
Sometimes when he wants to cooperate. Sometimes he does it. You gonna do yoga with mommy? No, not today. Okay. See, today is one of those days.
No. Okay. And so, how long have you been doing yoga?
I've been doing yoga since June of last year. So June 2019 is when I started doing yoga.
And are you self-taught?
Yeah, I taught myself by watching videos on YouTube. I also started following different yogis on Instagram just to kind of see some of the poses that they were doing. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got started. I taught myself and I've been doing it ever since.
Nice. And do you meditate with yoga?
Yes, I do. So usually I start out my yoga by meditating. I usually do about 10 to 15 minutes. And then at the end of my yoga session, there's a pose called Shavasana. So that's when you pretty much just lay on your back and you either have your palms facing up to receive what you need to receive or palms facing the earth to stay grounded. And I just close my eyes and meditate doing that.
And so do you incorporate prayer with your meditation?
I do. Meditation is a time that it's quiet time for me. So I get to spend a lot of time with God. You know, sometimes I'll bring my Bible out during meditation, read verses, but I do pray. I usually start my meditation with prayer just to kind of get in the zone and get my mind right. But yeah, I do.
Okay. And I see that you are a mother.
I am.
So what has being a mother taught you?
Being a mother has taught me a lot of patience, especially being a new mom. Jackson is my only one. So there are going to be days where I don't always get it right, days that I don't always know the answer. And having patience with myself and with my son is one of the most important things ever.
And is Jackson's father in the home?
No, we split up last May. So what we do is we do 1 week on, 1 week off. So he'll have Jackson 1 week and then the following week I'll have him. And that's been pretty much working. We co-parent well. It's been working out great. So.
And what advice would you give to others that are co-parenting?
Advice to other people who are co-parenting, communicate with your partner. You guys are in a partnership, honestly, whether you're together or not, for the rest of your lives because you have a child together. So having strong communication, you don't always have to co-parent, getting the court involved. If you just talk to each other and, communicate well with each other, you can make things work.
Right.
So.
And what's the toughest thing about being a mother?
I would say the toughest thing about being a mother is when things happen and I don't know what to do. Actually, there was one time I didn't know that he was allergic to peanut butter. My mom gave him a Nutter Butter and he had an extreme allergic reaction, had to be rushed to the hospital, tongue swelling.
Yes.
One of the scariest moments about being a mom is sometimes things happen and you can't control them. You don't know what to do.
Right.
So luckily he's fine.
What about the most rewarding part about being a mother?
Oh, the hugs and the kisses.
Yes.
That is the most rewarding part. Just being loved on. I think that's one of the things that I wanted for so long was to just feel unconditional love. And my son gives that to me every single day. Every single day. Even when I'm not around him, he'll call me and say, "Mommy, I love you." I'm like, "Oh."
How
thank
sweet.
you.
He seems so sweet. So what was your upbringing like?
I was raised by my mom. I met my dad when I was 8. They got married, and then shortly afterwards they split. So my dad was kind of in and out of my life. He was on drugs, and from there, kind of just being in and out, I didn't get to see him anymore, and then he just kind of left for good. Haven't really talked to him. My upbringing has kind of caused a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of anxiety, which is what I go through now. So that's kind of how I was brought up.
Okay. And do you have any siblings?
No, I'm actually, well, I do on my dad's side. My dad has 3 other children, all of them which are very older than me,
Right.
like old enough to be my parents.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm my mom's only one.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
yep.
And you said you have some mental health issues going on,
Mhm.
right? Can you mind going a little bit in detail with that?
Yeah, of course. So, back in November 2018, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder. So, what those look like, anxiety is just fear of the unknown. It's excessive worrying, excessive fear. Sometimes it keeps you up at night. Sometimes it's so bad you can't even leave out of the house. And then the obsessive part of it is I have rumination and checking and rechecking. So what that looks like is if I get up in the morning and I'm getting ready to leave out for work, I'll check the stove or I'll check the iron, even though I didn't use it, just to make sure that it's off.
Right.
I'll be late for work because I have to go back home. Something in my mind tells me you have to go back and you have to recheck. And it's very exhausting. So
I can imagine. But I know you are more than just your label. So
of course.
How would you describe yourself to those that don't know you?
To those that don't know me, I would describe myself as loving, caring, authentic, strong. I have been through a lot, and to be able to smile through it all, to be able to tell you what I went through is a blessing, because a lot of people don't get to tell their story.
Exactly. Okay. And wait a minute. So you didn't always have locks. How long have you been growing them?
So I'm 5 months locked. I locked my hair September 22nd, 2019. So, and I'm loving every single moment of it.
I can imagine. So what made you decide you wanted to lock your hair?
So the decision came from me just going through my healing journey. Having locks and locking your hair is a journey. Some days are going to be great. Some days your locks are going to cooperate. Some days they don't. And that's just how healing is. Like, some days you're going to cry. Some days it's going to be hard. I've been a certain way for 25 years of my life. So to change, it is very uncomfortable, you know? So, and to change my hair was very uncomfortable. I miss a lot of hairstyles that I used to have, but I love my locks. Like, I should have done it a long time ago.
They look so good on
Thank
you.
you.
And so do you think it's true that girls change their hair when they go through a transitional period in their life?
Yes, ma'am, I do. 110%. I feel like any girl that changes her hair, she's a force to be reckoned with. Don't mess with her, because she is not the same girl that you used to know when she had a different hairstyle.
Exactly. Are you going through a transitional period in your life?
Yeah, I would say that I'm going through a transitional period. Right now I'm at a moment where I just want to heal. That is my main focus. I just want to heal and be a better self, be a better person for myself, be a better person for my son. That's pretty much my main concern right now.
Okay. And then going back to yoga, has this helped you through your transitional period?
Most definitely. Yoga allows me to be me. When I'm on my mat, I can be whoever it is that I want. I can be myself, you know. There's nobody watching. Even if there is anybody watching, I tune everybody out. Yoga is my time to share with myself.
Yes. And I also hear that you call yourself Black Yogi. So what does that name mean for you?
So Black Yogi to me, for one, yogi is anyone that does yoga. I think females. I'm not sure if males call themselves yogis, but and then the reason why I call myself a Black Yogi is because a lot of people who do yoga, most of them look the same. A lot of Caucasian women who are really skinny. I don't look nothing like that. I'm a Black Yogi. I have rolls, I have locks, I have stretch marks, and my skin is melanated, you know? So that's the definition of a Black Yogi to me.
Yes. And so you've told me that you've overcame a lot. Do you believe in breaking generational curses?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I feel like if you want to change, it starts with you. It starts with you. You have to be the change that you want to see.
And what generational curses are you breaking?
The generational curse I want to break is what stays in this house. What goes on in this house stays in this house. That is the number one reason why a lot of us, I'm gonna speak for myself. A lot of African Americans don't talk about mental health as much because what went on with Uncle Johnny and Auntie Pam, it needs to stay in the house, and that's traumatizing. You know, a lot of people go through stuff, and you need to talk about those things. You need to heal from those things. So that's one of the generational curses that I want to break, because my mom still says it today. What happened in this house? It need to stay in this house. No, we need to start talking about stuff that happens in the house.
Exactly, I can agree. So how do you handle negativity?
I handle negativity with music. I love music. I love all types of music, depending on the situation. If it's a negative thought, if it's somebody says something negative to me, I use music. A lot of the times I use gospel music because it's just uplifting and worshiping, and you can always find love in Jesus. He can always lift your mood. So music is one of the ways that I turn any negative situation into something positive.
And you are glowing. You're truly a beautiful Black woman.
Thank you.
Do you believe it?
I do. I know I am.
And are you comfortable in your skin?
I am. I wasn't for a very long time. For a very long time, I tried to be what other people wanted me to be. I lived my life trying to please others, wanting to make sure that what I said was right or what I did was right. But that's not Kina. You know, I feel like if you can't get with the program, then you're not somebody that needs to be in my personal space.
Amen.
And that's just that.
Amen to that. And what are you most proud of?
My degree.
Okay.
Because no, I'm proud of a lot of things, but my education, my knowledge that I have is one of the things that I'm most proud of. A lot of people look at, I used to work for Microsoft, which is a company that's ran by a lot of white male, you know, it's a dominant area for white men.
Right.
And a lot of people looked at me like, you're Black and you're a woman. It's a double negative. You don't know what you're talking about. But when I come at them with knowledge, it's like, oh, okay, you do. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I take the time to fill my mind with other things that aren't negative, if that makes sense. Like, I want to learn more about everything. You know, I feel like that's very important.
You're teachable.
Yes, definitely.
And what's something about yourself that you feel that you still need to work on?
My shyness. I'm such an introvert. Even this is very uncomfortable for me. But stepping out of my comfort zone is a part of my healing journey. So that's a part of me. I want to be a spokesperson for mental health. That's my dream. And it's so weird because it's like somebody that doesn't even like to talk in front of people. How do you want to travel the world? You know, how do you want to travel the world and speak to people about the importance of mental health when you barely want to get up in front of somebody and do like a simple, you know, speech or something? So
sometimes it's bigger than ourselves.
Right. Exactly. And I look at it that way as well. So.
And have you ever been to therapy?
Yes, I actually go to therapy now. I've kind of graduated from therapy, so I go as needed because it's always needed. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't need therapy. Therapy is always needed. It's always something that you can talk about. But I started out when I was first diagnosed going every week. Then it was every 2 weeks, once a month. Now it's as needed. So.
Well, that's good. And so would you recommend therapy to others? I think you just said that.
Yes, ma'am, I
would. Does mental health run in your family, mental health issues?
You know, that's a good question. I do not know. I feel like from my knowledge and my experiences and the things that I see my family members go through, probably. Yeah, probably. But nobody has been officially diagnosed with anything, so I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. And how do you process your thoughts and emotions?
I write them out. I journal a lot. Sometimes it doesn't always look like full, complete sentences or paragraphs. Sometimes it's just whatever is in my mind. I have to get it on paper. Those people who have been around me that I no longer speak with, that I would like to, but I can't because they just interrupt and just disrupt my peace. I write letters to them. That's one of the ways that I get, you know, whatever it is I want to say. Right now I can't say it because I'm in a space where I can't physically talk to you, so I write it out.
Okay. And what's something that you want most out of life?
happiness, true happiness. The Bible says that God died for abundant life. He died on the cross for our sins so that we can have life and have it more abundantly.
Yes.
And so I don't want to leave this world without having abundant life. I want to be happy,
Yes.
you know? So whatever it takes to get to that point, that's the path that I'm on.
And do you have any hidden talents?
I do a little spoken word here and there.
Really now?
Here and there.
Can we hear something?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Okay. If only the world could see me. Listen to what I have to say, which has nothing to do with my beauty or my booty or lack thereof, because I'm more than what you have been conditioned to love. See, social media has plagued our minds into thinking that what meets the eye is more important than health. But truth be told, if you're mentally stressed and not spiritually blessed, emotionally depressed, then might I suggest you don't know the true definition of wealth. So I'm gonna just leave it there.
Good. That was so good.
I'm gonna just leave it there.
And what's one thing that you would like to change in your community?
One thing I would like to change in my community is the rates of suicide. Suicide rates are constantly climbing. It's getting to a point where our children are taking their own lives because they are not being heard. No one is hearing them. No one is paying attention. No one is listening. So that's one of the things I feel like I want to make sure that I see suicide rates go in the opposite direction. They don't need to increase, they need to decrease.
Yes. And how do you feel like that? What's one thing you feel like that could decrease the suicide rates? What can be incorporated?
Asking the question. A lot of us don't like to ask, are you thinking about, taking your life? Are you thinking about hurting yourself? Are you thinking about hurting somebody else? Mm-hmm. We don't like to ask those questions. It's uncomfortable. I'm just being honest. Yeah. It's uncomfortable to ask that type of question, but you have to ask. If you see the signs, if somebody, you see somebody every day and you notice that their hair is changing, they look like they didn't comb their hair today, ask them, what's wrong? Is it something that you need to talk about? Sometimes just listening could change somebody's life. They could be thinking about, once I get off work today, I'm going to end my life. And a conversation that you have with them could change that.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. And what's something that you would like to do, but if you haven't had the chance to start?
Something that I've been wanting to do for the past few months, honestly, is make my own prayer box. I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in the power of God. And one of the ways I communicate with God is writing my prayers down. I love art, crafts, all of that type of stuff. So creating my own prayer box that I can actually put my prayers in and leave them there is something that I've been wanting to do for a while that I haven't started yet.
Okay. And one last question, Kina. What advice would you give to someone trying to protect their mental?
That is the advice. Protect your mental, whatever that means to you. If that means singing, if that means dancing, if that means going to church, if that means blocking somebody, that means deleting all your social media accounts, whatever it is that is going to keep your peace, you do just that. Protect your mental. That is the advice.
All right. That was good. Thank you so much.
Of course.